Sole Survivor by Ruthanne Lum Mccunn. Dedication. In memory of my father, Captain Robert Drake Drysdale, who loved the sea, and for those, living and dead, who contributed in no small measure to my survival during my first years in America, especially Captain Gus Landberg, Sandy Adams Hilliard, Linda D. Preston, Georgie Blake, Janina and Stanislav Slavic, and Evelyn, Jim, and Allison Hulse. Prologue. Less than 12 hours after war was declared in 1939, a German U-boat torpedoed the British passenger liner Athenia without warning. Sink at sight continued to be Germany's policy. Within 2 months, 56 Allied and neutral merchant ships had been sunk by mines and U-boats, and thousands of non-combatants killed or drowned. Increasingly high casualties and the growth of war-associated shipping created a need for additional manpower, and in 1940 the British Merchant Navy sent out a call for Chinese seamen. Poon Lim was among those who answered the call. A young man of 22, he signed articles of agreement for second steward on the Ben Lomond, a Scots-officered ship of 9,675 tons, with a crew of 47, half Scots and half Chinese, and 8 gunners. British merchant ships, under government control, traded when and where required by the Allies, taking arms to forces overseas, then bringing back food and raw materials to England. Because merchant ships were only lightly armed, any confrontations with U-boats or cruisers were one-sided. Convoys offered only limited protection, since the U-boats were faster than many of the escorts, and 1/3 of the ships sunk were those in convoy. Even in port, a ship was not always safe. The Ben Lomond, while loading explosives in Holehaven, England, barely avoided a floating mine, and when the sheds alongside her took fire during an air raid, she had to be moved to a safer position on the other side of the dock by the sheer force of men pulling on ropes and hawsers. The biggest danger, however, was the middle part of the Atlantic run, where no air cover was possible. There, wolf packs of U-boats concentrated their attacks, and in the first 7 months of 1942, 681 ships weighing a total of 3.5 million tons were sunk. Hitler claimed the Allies had yet to feel the full might of his submarine blitz, and he promised that any sailor foolish enough to sail would stand little chance of returning. Nevertheless, Poon Lim, like other men, continued to sign new articles, and when the Ben Lomond left Cape Town in ballast...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?